Guys, I got lenses here today. We're going over some lens stuff here. You see these lenses? I got lenses. I got this lens. Oh man, this sucker's heavy. I got lenses for the phase. I got lenses for the Hasselblad. I got all sorts of lenses. So let's talk about lens choice a little bit. So if you're shooting, let's start with what I'm shooting right now. I only have 2 lenses for this thing at the moment. I've got a 110 and I've got an 80. And if I'm shooting headshots, I'm always on the 110. All right, I need a little bit more compression out of it. I gotta get close. I don't want any distortion. I like the 110. I was also shooting with the 120, but I actually like the 110 better because it's a leaf shutter lens. Leaf shutter lens let me go to a higher sync speed on the strobe, allowing this camera will go to 1600, that one will go to 800. 800th of a second, this is 1600th of a second, which is kind of nice when you're using what you normally use it for is when you're mixing light, and outside you bring the ambient light way down, which is kind of cool. As far as choices of lenses, this one is the main lens that I've been shooting with for years and years and years. It's a 120 macro. I use the macro because sometimes I like to get in tight. You want to check how close the closest point that your lens can focus at. So look at the specs of the lens and then test it. When I want to get in tight with somebody, I need a macro lens. Or you can put an extension tube onto one of these suckers. So I have an extension tube for this thing and I can put that on the 110 so I can get a little bit closer than I normally would. But I do like it just clean. I don't usually go that close with headshots these days to need the macro, but it's nice to have it there. Canon has a nice 100mm macro, so I can dive in with this. It really annoys me when you get too close to somebody and you're pressing the button and it won't fire because it can't focus because they're so close if you're on autofocus. So you want to check that your lens, if you have a macro, it's a really nice option. I also use the 100mm instead of the 85 because I need more compression. I think the 85 is a little bit wide for headshots. If you've got a zoom lens, and let's say you've got a 24-70 or 70-200 or something, 24-70 for a headshot is not going to be enough. You're going to have to go above that. Even on a crop sensor, I think 70 is still a little bit wide. It depends on your camera. But let's say you've got a 70-200. All right. What I want you to do is pick a sweet spot on your lens that all your headshots will be shot at, so that you're just locked in and you're getting the same result every single time. And it will probably be somewhere around 100, 105, maybe 95, somewhere in there. Find a really nice spot where you feel comfortable. And for me, it's a lot about the distance to the subject as well, because I talk the entire time. If I'm way across the room, if I'm shooting anything more than 100mm on this, I'm gonna be like a 135, I'm so far away from the person I can't even think about it. Like this sucker, I put this is a 210, you put this sucker on, you're way across the room. You don't wanna do that. You wanna get close to people, but if you put an 80 on, you're too close. So you don't wanna be that close. So you wanna get your lens choice down, and you wanna make sure that there's a comfort level, but there's also compression. So here's the way I want you to test your lens in terms of whether it's a long enough lens. I want you to shoot a headshot horizontally with the person in the middle. Put the person in the middle showing both their shoulders and turn them straight to the camera like this and take a shot. And then I want you to turn them so one shoulder is ahead of the other, something like this, and take another shot. And I want you to look at the size of this shoulder compared to the size of this shoulder. If this shoulder is absolutely massive compared to this shoulder, then you need a lens that has more compression in it, and you need to go with a longer lens. So that's my little tidbit of pro tip for the day. Do that, figure it out. Remember, if you're on a zoom lens, lock it in, and 2, figure out your distortion situation. You don't want your shots looking distorted. I see massive shoulders, and then it's also distorting other areas of the face. So make sure you get a better lens and a longer one. All right, cool. See you. Guys, if you like this video, you're absolutely gonna love what I have going on over at the Headshot Crew. It's an absolute smorgasbord of material just like this that I've been working on for the last 10 years. So click the link below, check it out, and do not forget to subscribe to this channel. I got stuff coming out just for you.